Ah, that's better, right? Can you hear me now? AT&T, right? So, peace. It's happening, good people. This gift here for pay us no mind. And today is very hot. Blazing saddles. Hot. Oh my God. Oh man. Got me in here doing the mace. Make it hot, baby. Make it hot. Oh my God. But yeah, man. I just wanted to jump on and talk about just what could possibly be the end of the whole era of leasing beats. You know, those royalty, not royalty free, but like those non exclusive beats that artists a lot of times lease because they can't afford to like pay in the traditional way where you just pay a producer to produce a beat and it's exclusive to you, and you know it's a partnership and you get to do what you want to do. And just looking at technology and how that could all be coming to an end. Now, in addition to that, I also wanted to talk about just the dynamics of radio and playlisting and follow up and just the more of a, almost like a, I guess, like a mini course, but not really, like, because it's not, going to be that intensive, or I hope it don't be that intensive. So we're just going to go over that if we have time and all of that good stuff. I'm going to just check the system, make sure we're good to go and all of that, man. No hiccups, because we always have hiccups. But I'm going to just check everything. And then we're going to dive into the topic at hand. All right. So let me just see if anybody is in there like, yo, man, we can't hear you or whatever. Now, keep in mind, too, that it might be choppy or anything like that to that effect because it's hot and computers be overloading and stuff like that, man. You know, word. But yeah, if there's any trouble that anybody is having, definitely let me know in the chat, right? Now, the thing about this, let me see. Hold on. All right. Now, one thing I want to note is that I've started something new. And I think I might spark a trend here with just having sponsored content, not just sponsored content on like, you know how the traditional way where somebody talks about a product and it's sponsored content because they're talking about that product and they have to notify you that what you see is effectively an ad. I'm talking about like sponsored content from the point of allowing a brand to advertise on something that you're already talking about. Like how I'm talking about this topic right now. There would be a sponsor, there would be a banner at the footer of this video, and that's what the advertiser would pay for. Now, I decided to extend that to artists as opposed to the traditional sense of working with brands where it's more expensive and, you're working with brands, you know what I'm saying? And not artists who kind of like need the support and need the attention. I mean, brands need the attention too, but at the same time, it's like it comes with some degree of censorship because you're effectively almost like co-signing the brand. That's how a lot of artists take it, so it can be a bit murky, right? So I'm just like, hey man, you know what? This is an artist-based platform. We want to be supportive to artists. We want artists to be able to expose themselves. So why not allow artists to sponsor the content that's educating artists? And the value of it is the fact that information moves. So whereas people might be reluctant to share a song, everybody shares information. So if somebody is breaking down how Spotify works, people will share that. And if somebody has sponsored that their content or their promo hitches a ride with that content. So everywhere that content gets shared, there goes their ad. Every time somebody sends that content to a friend or something like that, there goes their ad. So it's a great way to like have brand recognition and brand awareness and all of that different type of stuff, man. So I just wanted to like showcase right quick, just a quick example of it. Like if you follow me like that, you saw me share it to YouTube. Like I put it on Instagram. So this is what it looks like on Instagram. So I did it with an artist that I worked with previously, Femionas, where I just put his content or put his banner at the footer of a video breaking down how Spotify doesn't pay per stream, you know. And I also did this in the stories and in YouTube shorts and stuff like that. So it's like the promo shows on the Instagram posts and the stories and YouTube videos and the links in the description box, as well as, you know, YouTube shorts and the community tab posts. So it's a lot of ground that gets covered for artists that sponsor. And I believe there's a link to it in the description box. But yeah, man, let me dive into the topic at hand, right? Let's go. Let's start this off, right? So you got Meet Ripple, TikTok parents' new AI-powered music-making app that can turn a hummed melody into a song. Now, note that what I'm talking about with the end of Leased Beats isn't just this app right here. There is a whole bunch of things that are coming. So it's like you got Google with music. I think it's Music LM or something like that. Language media or something to that effect. It's effectively text to music, where you go in and you text in a prompt. You say, give me a jazzy instrumental. Give me a R&B instrumental. Give me a heavy hip hop instrumental with a 90s vibe. And these engines will just generate original music unique for you to use. Every time it's a unique track. So you compare that to Leased Beats, where you go and you buy a beat and it's non-exclusive and you got 101 other artists using it, and you can't do content ID with it because there's 101 other artists using it, and you have all of these restrictions with how many streams you can get and what you can do with it from the standpoint of whether you can go and perform it, whether you can get it played on radio, all of these different conditions that come with it. And it's like, well, why do that if I can go to some AI engine, pay $20 a month or something like that, and have it just pump out an unlimited number of original unique beats that ain't nobody else got but me? And that's why I feel like Leased Beats, non-exclusive Leased Beats, could be on a deathbed as this technology progresses. Now, a lot of producers will fight against that. They'll say, no, man, you can't beat having somebody actually produce an original composition. But I say, yeah, you can, you know, because the way that people make music now is different from the way that people used to make music. So it's like when it comes to producers that have an established name, where they built the reputation and people are hiring them mainly for their name. You know, people are hiring them for their name and their reputation. So that's why they're getting hired. That's why people are buying beats from them. It's to leverage their name and rep to get like on radio and TV and stuff like that. And then other people that just respect their art and want to collaborate with them just out of respect and saying, hey, you know, I really honor this guy, Timbaland, and I've always wanted to work with him, so I'm going to pay to work with Timbaland. So you got that aspect of it. But as far as like a lot of the new producers coming up that don't have that reputation, that this technology is going to severely impact them. Because outside of, like, let me go backwards, right? Back in the days, the way that we worked with producers were you went to open mics, showcases, you know, or you did mixtapes and you jumped on other people's beats and you built a name for yourself. And through that name, people wanted to work with you, including producers. So you had producers that would give you free beats and stuff like that because they just respected your pen game and wanted to work with you. And on the monetization end, y'all just split everything. So it was like, okay, I'm gonna give the producer points or whatever have you. And that's the way it works. Some producers would sign artists not to like a label deal because there wasn't labels, but they assign artists to production deals where it's like, we're gonna make the instrumentals for you, and we're going to work and try to pitch your music to labels. And if somebody gets you signed, then we are the ones that's going to produce that album for you. And that's how they kind of like built the name. You know, they signed these artists, the production deals, they got the artist signed, and then they produced the album, the first album for that artist, and their name was attached to all of those records that the record company was pushing, and they got their name out there like that. So it was a lot of collaboration, you know. So you have groups like Gangstar with Guru and DJ Premier. You had these producer artist groups, and when it come into the era of leased beats and stuff like that, or really just from the standpoint of when it got to the point of two tracking, right, where a producer puts a beat on a CD and give it to you, and you take it to the studio to record over it, as opposed to the producer coming with you or something to that effect, then it's like everything started to deteriorate from there, because a lot of times it wasn't even producers, it was people stealing other people's beats. So it's like in my era when we did music, we got a beat from a producer. In order for you to record on that beat, that producer had to bring his equipment to the studio session and remake the beat in the studio. So you needed the producer. You needed to have a relationship with him. He had to come to the studio with you and relay that beat down in order for you to be able to take the drums out here and change this instrument there, and to do those things. You needed the producer there to do that stuff with, you know. And then when you went to the era of CDs where everything was on the CD, like you couldn't change anything. If you wanted to take out the drums, couldn't do it. If you wanted to stop the beat at some point because you wanted to rock a cappella for a stretch or something, couldn't do it. The beat was the way that it was. However they mixed it was however they mixed it. However they mastered it was however they mastered it. You couldn't change anything within it. And that's just what it was. And you had a lot of producers that was stealing the beats of other producers, putting them on CDs and selling them as their own. And people buying beats that wasn't even the beats of the person that they were paying. So the person that originally produced it didn't even know that somebody else was selling their stuff. And so it created a lot of confusion and things of that nature. And then you move fast forward to like this era with leased beats and stuff where nobody is even talking. You go to a marketplace and you just stream tracks until you find something you like, and then you buy it and you rap over it and you put it up, and the producers don't even know what songs people are making over their beats and don't even care. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I get hit up by a lot of artists that are like, yo, I bought this beat. I'm trying to contact the producer. I can't get him to respond to my emails. All of this different type of stuff. So that's just to say that the producer and artist relationship has been broken down. It's been broken down, and there is somewhat of a non-existent relationship now, you know, where it's just super cold. People just buying beats from online and rapping over them. So it's like, what's the difference between buying a leased non-exclusive beat or for BeatStars or some type of platform like that where you don't know the producer, don't have a relationship with them, no communication with them, versus doing the same thing with an AI? There is no difference. So it's like, if I can go and pay $20 and buy unlimited beats, why the hell am I going to go deal with whatever headache from a producer out there that's saying, hey, here's what you can do, here's what you can't do. Maybe I respond to you, maybe I don't care about it. It's the same type of thing. So yeah, that's my long-winded way of saying, yeah, I think it's almost, we at a point where it might be a wrap for that whole non-exclusive leased beats era. Because AI is coming for it, man. Definitely. You know? So let me see what's going on in here, man. See what everybody talking about. All right. Yeah, so it's definitely like, there's no community around it. You know, yeah, man. My era was a lot of collaboration. So it's like, again, I think I talked about this the last stream with your peers. The people that you go to the open mics and showcases, and because it's like those things, it's like, yeah, it's a sausage fest, right? It's a whole bunch of dudes in there, and only the dudes, because it's like, you know, girls don't want to come because they know it's going to be a whole bunch of dudes. And the reality of the situation is, you know, I mean, far as my experience goes, I can't speak for everybody. I can't speak for the whole world. But a lot of times, man, you don't really have like a whole bunch of girls that be into like non-popular artists, right? Like the people who haven't made it famous. Like once success comes, then the girls come. But when it's just like everybody in just trying to make it, it's like they're not there. So I never went to an open mic or a showcase where there was a lot of ladies unless they made it for exclusively ladies. Like when it was like, we're only showcasing female artists, then you go and it's like a whole bunch of girls bring their girlfriends and stuff like that. But like when it was like a general open mic, you didn't really see a whole lot of girls there. But yeah, man, so it'd be a whole bunch of dudes, man. And you go, but it's like you build relationships there. You get up there, you spit, other artists respect your pen game, respect your talent. Producers, managers, a whole bunch of different types of people are in there, radio people, and people come up to you and they give you opportunities, say, hey man, can we collaborate? And that's how those relationships get built. Then one of those artists might blow up, might get on a mixtape, and then they pull you up and they say, hey man, jump on this joint with me. And then you build a name for yourself through the name that they built for themselves. And that's kind of how it went, And now I don't know if that's happening anymore. Now it's just so much isolation where people were doing all of the recording on their own, and that's the thing too, just drifting away from just the Leased Beats thing and just moving into marketing somewhat. It's just the fact that creation is a part of the marketing because the people who are involved with the process of creating become mouthpieces. They become the people to spread the music. So if somebody does a single and they go out and they hire a DJ to intro the song, like Fat Man Scoop, he like, yo, we got Gift. Gift is here with his new track. Yo, Gift, what up? And he talking on the song. Now I could be like, yo, I got my new track features Fat Man Scoop on the intro. And I can add him and he'll share it because he's on it, So now I got his audience. Then if I go and I get a producer with a notable name to do the track, then I can shout them out and say, hey, this track is produced by, and they'll share it and it gets exposed to their audience. So now I got the producer's audience and the DJ's audience, right? If I bring a comedian on, to do something funny on a track, now I tap into his audience. You go and you hire, like you do it at a certain studio that's prestigious or something like that. Recorded at the same studio that Jimi Hendrix used to record in. Now that is a promotional vehicle as well. The session musicians, you get featured on it. If you get session musicians, all of that stuff factors into the promotion of it and opens doors. Because when you send emails to press and radio, they look and they say, oh, these people are involved with it. I don't know you, but I know that guy or I know that guy. And that might open the door to get into radio airplay and things of that nature. Now, the way that people make music now is very solitary. You buy a beat from online, you record it on your computer, and you go and you might use Canva or something like that to create an album cover. And then you just start posting it online and trying to get it out there and moving it, but it's all just you. It's all just you. And there is nobody else that is invested in the success of that music. Nobody invested in the success of that music. So it just becomes more challenging to really make anything happen with it, So yeah, man, being successful in art or in music rather is not just a matter of advertising and promotion and stuff like that. A lot of it has to do with relationships and who's involved in the process. You got albums that get nominated for Grammys, not because they were amazing albums, but because who's involved with creating it. The people who are on the Grammy board are the people who were in the creation of that album, So it's a lot of that goes on. Now on the marketing end, where I say a lot of artists kind of like don't understand is that everything comes down to how people feel about the music ultimately. Even with you going out and paying people, like paying the DJ like Batman Scoop or paying a producer and all of that other stuff, that just gets eyeballs, right? That gets people to pay attention. But ultimately, it comes down to how people feel about the music. Now, a lot of times I hear artists talk about how this marketing don't work or how this advertising campaign don't work or how that don't work, playlists don't work. And it's like if the music is bad, nothing's gonna work. Everything is gonna suck, right? Like you're gonna do something and nothing's gonna happen because the music is not great. Now, at the same time, even if the music is good, nothing could happen because the music has to be great for something to really happen, unless you have a certain kind of infrastructure set up. So it's like for that, hold on, let me just check and see where we at with everything, man. Yeah, just check everybody. Yeah, man. But yeah, so I mean, again, I'm a bit older. All right, you see the grades. So it's like I grew up on radio. Now, radio is a playlist, effectively. It's a list of songs that people put in rotation. And every day, the same songs play multiple times a day. So, like every radio show is playing a list of songs, a playlist of songs, right? Now, playlists on Spotify effectively do the same thing. It's a list of songs that play to the general public. Now, the difference is radio, you got a million people listening to a radio station. They play the song once, a million people hear it. Now, you do not get paid for a million streams. You get paid for one play. That one play that a million people heard. Whereas with streaming, a million people heard it, that's a million streams. So, and you're getting paid for each stream. So you got that difference between the two of them there, the way monetization works, right? Also the fact that with radio, recording artists don't get paid, and people who own the master don't get paid, and with streaming they do, right? But I would say, right, if you think about it, the key here is follow-up. So with radio, people listen to a song on radio, and you say, okay, well, how can they follow up? There is no button to save the song to their library or playlist the song or anything like that. So if you're driving in a car, listening to the radio and a song come on, you pretty much got to pull over or something like that. Or if you're listening to the radio in your house, that's a better example, right? In your house. What you do? You got to Google, Shazam, go and run a YouTube search, try to like find the lyrics and or type in lyrics that you remember and try to find a song. So it's like more steps involved in the process with following up. Whereas with Spotify streaming, it's a click save to my library, right? Click save to my playlist. It's an easier method of following up. Now, even though it's an easier method of following up, it's still the same thing, right? So it's like with radio, somebody hears a song and they have to be moved to take action. With playlists, somebody hears a song and they have to be moved to take action. Now, people are moved to take action when they want to hear the song all of the time. That's the key. They have to want to hear the song all of the time. If it's a song that they like, but they don't care to hear all of the time, they're not going to playlist it. They're not going to save it. They're not going to go and investigate or nothing like that because it's not something that they really want to have access to like that. So that's what you're looking to make. You're trying to get a song that people want to hear all of the time in the streaming era. Now, when it came in the sales era, you could have like quality art, like how people might buy the Mona Lisa painting. They're not going to sit and stare at it 24 hours a day. They'll look at it whenever, whatever it does for them as far as inspiration, whenever they need that inspiration, they'll go and they'll look at it, right? And that's how sales used to work. You bought an album, and whenever you were in a mood for it, you bought that album. And the artist didn't need for you to listen to the song 101 or 1,000,001 times in order to make money. They made money. They made their money off of that one sale, and you could stream it whenever you feel like it. And I mean, I know I'm a listener like that. There are songs that I love that are emotionally draining, like Subway Art by Tish Hyman. It's a great song, but emotionally draining. So I can't listen to that song forever, right? Like I can't put that song on a playlist that I'm going to play all of the time because it's not a song that I can listen to all of the time. I don't want to be in that zone and in my feelings and stuff like that all of the time. Drake is an artist that I can't listen to like that. Like I like songs that he make, but I never playlist Drake songs because I listened to it a couple times. I'm like, oh, this is hot, but it's not something that I can listen to all of the time. So I don't personally playlists any of Drake's songs because he doesn't make music that I like to listen to all of the time. So it's like people can have songs that they like but not want to listen to all of the time. And artists be thinking that that's just the way it works. If people like the song, then they playlist it and they stream it all of the time. And that's not the way that it works. And you need to understand that, because just because somebody won't playlist the song doesn't mean they don't value the song, and doesn't mean that they're not adding value to the song. That's the other end of it too. So it's like somebody might not go and play a song on Spotify and stream it and things of that nature, but they might share it. They might send it to a friend because they like it. They just don't like it enough to listen to all of the time. But they think somebody else will like it. So the same way they heard it that one time and was like, oh, this is hot. They share it with a friend and their friend listen to it and they say, oh, this is hot. And they share it with a friend, right? And it can grow like that. So two things here. One is with playlists, artists think that, hey, I get on a playlist, I get streams, and then the streams keep coming. No. You get on a playlist. The playlist is an opportunity to get exposure. That's what the playlist is. It's an opportunity to get exposure. You're not even guaranteed streams when you get on a playlist. Yeah, you can assume that somebody's going to hit play and the songs are going to cycle through, but it all depends on the type of playlist. So if somebody creates a playlist like Today's Hits, that is a playlist that people listen to with the intent of easy listening. They are streaming Today's Hits because they're expecting to get all of the top hits that they've been listening to on Top 40 radio, and that they're not going to have to skip and stuff like that. That's the listening experience that person is expecting. So you have somebody that creates a top hits, a Today's Hits playlist, because they know that that playlist gets a lot of searches, so they're going to get a lot of streams and a lot of follows. And that's going to allow them to basically sell that playlist to you, and for you to be excited about getting playlisted on it and willing to pay to be on it. But then that person plays that playlist and they get a song from Taylor Swift, a song from Jennifer Lopez, a song from whoever the top artists of today are. And then all of a sudden your song comes on and they're like, what the hell is this? Now, Spotify doesn't count a stream unless the stream lasts for 30 seconds. So your song comes on 10 seconds in, skip. That's not one of today's hits, right? Doesn't count as a stream. You got a play, but it doesn't count as a stream because the person didn't listen to the song. They didn't even give it a chance. Now the same thing can happen on discovery-based playlists, where the playlist is, the goal of it is to showcase new talent. People cycle through it. They say, not that, not that, not that. Same thing. People skipping the song before 30 seconds is up, And a lot of times when there's popular playlists, people might just go through it and say, I know Rick Ross, I want to hear that. I know Jay-Z, I want to hear that. I don't know this guy. X out, right? And not even give your song a chance. So just because your song is on a playlist doesn't mean that it's automatically going to get streams. So that's one thing to recognize with the playlist. Now, when it does get streams, you know how people got that popular image that floats around the internet where they show that hill of streaming activity where it's like, oh, here it's like a camel, right? The bar goes up and then it comes back down. And it's like, oh, look at what happens when you get your music on playlist. Now, you know why that happens when you get your music on playlist? Because the people who listen to the music didn't care for it. Now that's provided that the playlist was legitimate and not a scam, right? Like if it's a legitimate playlist, you get your music on the playlist, people listen to it because they play in the playlist. But if people aren't blown away by the music, where they're like, oh my God, who is this guy? I got to build a relationship. I want to hear this song all of the time. Then soon as the song gets taken off the playlist, the streams die. So it's like, as long as it's legitimate playlist and you get those streams and it's unsustainable, like nothing happens afterwards, that's the song, man. That's the song. And you got to kind of like basically get better and try to make a better song that can stick. And advertising doesn't change things. Advertising is somewhat of an illusion because you advertise, and because you advertise, right, because you're driving traffic to Spotify to get streams. That's the objective of the ad. The ad is working to get people to Spotify to stream your music. So you get people to Spotify, they stream the music. Just because people stream the music don't mean they like it. You know what I'm saying? Just means they're giving it a chance. So you get this activity. You say, wow, this ad really worked. Spent $100, got some streams, triggered the algorithm, got more streams, but then it's like the ad stops, the streams stop. You get taken off the algorithmic playlist, the streams stop. Nobody's talking about you, nothing's moving. It's the music. It's the music. And you got to go back in the lab and you got to get better. Because I tell you right now, playlists are more effective than ads. They are. It's just that people don't feel the dopamine hits from the playlist. Because it's like the playlist, you might get streamed, you might not. You know what I'm saying? Ads, you are a lot of times doing it yourself. So there's the excitement of, oh, I did something and it worked. Wow. You know, but the key thing is with radio and playlists, it's catching people when they're in the mood for music and not pulling them out of a different zone. When somebody is on social media, they doing this, they going through family stuff. They're like, baby photos, marriages, weddings, all of this. They're comedy, whatever, right? And then you come and you say, listen to my song. And they say, all right, I'll check it out. But they're not in that zone. So it's like with playlists and radio, people are listening to hip hop when they're in the hip hop zone. They listen to R&B radio stations when they're in the R&B zone. You know, so in playlists are even more effective because people are listening to those things when they are like they can pick an R&B playlist. So somebody listens to hip hop and R&B radio, they might play an R&B song, they might play a hip hop song, but generally people are into both, but they're not in any they're not in any particular hip hop or R&B mode. Right? But if somebody's listening to an R&B playlist, they're in an R&B mood. Maybe they chilling with their girl or something like that. You know, if somebody is listening to a workout playlist, they're working out. You know, so it's like very direct. So that's why playlists are super effective. But what it comes down to is whether the music resonates with the people who are listening to it. You know, and people were like, oh man, damn, I got on this playlist and ain't nothing really happened. And nobody really recognizes the fact that it's the music, man. And we are in a spot where nobody's being honest. That's the reality, man. Nobody's being honest because everybody got a dog in the race, right? So everybody want to make money, you know. So it's like the digital distributors want to make money. The marketers want to make money. The streaming platforms, they don't really care because they make money from subscribers. But it's like everybody wants to make money and they're making money off of you. They're making money off of your belief that, you know, this next song is going to be the song, which it possibly can be. But nobody wants to discourage you, right? And I hope I'm not discouraging you. I'm just saying, hey, it's more of a challenge to say, hey, man, you know, if my music isn't connecting with people, let me see if I can make better music. But people don't want to say that because they think that most artists are going to take that as an adversarial type of thing and say, oh, you're saying I suck. Oh, you're a hater, right? Oh, they're hating on me. And if people feel like service is hating on them, then guess what? They're not going to pay to use that service. So playlisting service isn't going to tell you that your music is bad. A digital distributor isn't going to tell you that your music is bad and you need to get better. They're all going to tell you, hey, man, it's amazing. Right? You're making amazing music. That's going to be the hit record of tomorrow and all this other stuff because they need you to pay for digital distribution. They need you to pay for stuff, you know. But the reality is, yo, man, if it ain't moving, you got to get better. Because when it comes to marketing, a lot of stuff can work. Like, it's not rocket science. Like, people always talk about the ineffectiveness of, like, Facebook boosts. But technically, they should work. Because what it's about is exposure. So if you got a post on Facebook and you click the button to boost and you target hip hop fans and it's a hip hop record, the post is getting exposed to people who are fans of hip hop. You know? So if you look at your ad stats and you see this video got 100,000 views, the sound was on, people heard it, and ultimately nobody wanted to listen to the song enough, right? Like they didn't want to be able to hear it all of the time. So nobody went to Spotify to stream it. Nobody went to YouTube. Nobody went to Apple Music. Nobody went to Tidal. That is about the song. And then people put good money after bad by saying, okay, well, now let me try this conversion advertising, and let me, do this type of advertising, and let me do this and let me do that. And they don't improve the music. They take the same song that didn't work for the boost, that people said no to with playlists, and then they go and double down on it and do like Facebook advertising. And then they get a little nibble there and get excited and say, oh man, now it's working. Let me pump more money into it. But ultimately, it's the same result from the standpoint that no word of mouth. Nobody is excited about it. Nobody is moving it. So it's like you're just getting what you pay for. And once you stop paying, then everything grinds to a halt. So it's like at the end of the day, I feel like playlists, radio, all of that stuff is great from the standpoint of sometimes people need to hear no. Sometimes people need to hear no. They need to get that rejection where somebody says, yo, man, you're not good enough. Like, if you've ever come across anybody, an athlete, an artist that just surround themselves with yes men that always tell them that everything they do is amazing, odds are those people suck. Their music suck. Their art suck because nobody's telling them when what they're doing is bad. So they never improve. They just walk around thinking that everything they do is perfect, And the reality is sometimes you got to hear it because that's what makes you go back and get better, And I, as somebody who helps artists market and stuff like that, I get tired of seeing it, man. I get tired of working with an artist and they got the talent, but they just need to kind of like make something better. But they put out and they go and they spend money on an advertising campaign. And then if that song don't blow up, they get discouraged and they just say, okay, well, I'm going to just go and try to do what I can do for free. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, if nobody knows it exists, then it definitely ain't going to go anywhere. What you need to do is just come back with something better and keep trying again. Right? But I digress. Let me go in the chat room. Let me see what y'all saying in here. Let me shout anybody out that want to get a shout out. And let me get up out of this hot ass room, right? It's getting hot in here, so just take off your clothes. I am getting so hot, I want to take my clothes off. Oh, shout out to Nelly. Big Bank Reed, my guy. What's good, man? Good to see you back in the building, my brother. Long distance traveler was good. Yo, if you're in the building, tap in so I can shout you out, man. Always good to see people in the building, man. Word up. We got Joanne Costerhead, right? Golden Nick, what up? DPM Network, music distribution. Word, man. Zope Belafonte, what up, my guy? Jerry NRG, what up, my man? Word, yo. Normalized Audio was good. Ezekiel TV, Now, pardon me as I read through some of this stuff that y'all been saying, man. John Costa I started yesterday to now just focus my lo-fi producing full time. All right, brother. Jerry NRG is like, have you heard about Meta coming out with its own Twitter called Threads? Yeah, man, I saw that. I went to sign up for Threads, man. And I don't know, man. The privacy policy scared me a bit. Like when you scroll down and look at the permissions that you're giving Threads, they get access to like your health data. They get access to your contacts. They get access to, what else is it, man? Like your browsing history. They get access to I was like, damn, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I don't know, because I got to look at some of these other apps and see what they're accessing. But it seemed odd to me. Like, I don't think I've seen that and like Twitter or nothing like that, man. So, and I think Jack Dorsey talked about it on Twitter too, where he was just like, yeah, like look at all of this stuff that they're asking for. So it's like Facebook and their issue with privacy, I don't know if it's like the best thing to be giving them access to all of that information. Now, they could be asking for that or getting your consent because of all of the different apps that connect to Facebook, like Peloton and stuff like that. So it's like if you got your Fitbit or whatever connected to Facebook, then that's health data. If you got like websites got like Facebook pixels on them. So that is browsing data. So they might need it for those purposes. So I'm not going to just automatically assume that it's for some type of nefarious reasoning. But yeah, that definitely was like weird to me, man, and gave me pause. But yeah, it drops tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see what it's like because it's hard to launch a new thing, man. And these companies come with new stuff all of the time and it dies all of the time and doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, man. Most people are just saying they're very against lease beats. Golden Nick says, mind you, it takes so long finding a good beat along with a fair exclusive contract and track out stems. Yeah, I mean, it's its own challenge, man. It's not easy. Zope Belafonte says, so it's over for the Fruity Loop producers, not too much for the producers who do more of human approach in producing. Yeah, it's not over for the producers that network and like actually work with artists and go out and like meet people and say, hey man, let's work together. Like those producers will always get work. But the producers that just upload music online and just hope that people come across it and buy it, like I think they're on borrowed time. Normalized Audio says you are going up against Harry Mack right now on YouTube streaming. I don't know who that is. He says he gets more views. All right. I mean, I don't care. It's about the people I rock with, the people that rock with me, man. No, I don't, anybody else that got whatever they got going on, it's all good. Age of the Machines. We are all in our little rooms alone trying to create. Yeah, that's what it is, man. Word, brother. Appreciate you, Normalized Audio, man. Much love, man. Thank you. Joan Costerhead says, I build up my music rep on Discord. They having a lot of submissions for playlists. From one playlist, I got into more playlists. I build my audience. Yeah, it's just doing things in unconventional ways. So it's like Discord is a great place to go in and build with other. And that's the thing, right? Music fans. So it's like if you're a music fan and you go in Discord and join music fan communities and you build relationships, then you can share your music with those other music fans. The same thing with Reddit. Reddit got music fan communities. And you can do things like Google songs that are similar to your songs and see where they get shared on Reddit, like what threads on Reddit they get shared to, and then go in there and network and support and post stuff, and then ultimately start to post your own music to those threads because that's where the music fans of your music are. And it's more community based marketing that is probably going to be more effective. Yeah, man. Ezekiel TV said he's trying to find uh, free music video distribution for free. Can you help me, please? I mean, there's nothing free. Some of these free things is taking like 50%. It's exclusive agreements. Like, you just got to recognize the fact that there's a cost of doing business. So if you're doing music videos and it's important for you to get those videos out there, you put it up on YouTube. Nothing beats that as far as, exposure goes. So it's like if you can't get people to watch it on YouTube, then definitely nobody's going to be watching it on Apple Music or anything like that. So it's not really like a need to be anywhere other than YouTube, which is free. So it's like to say I need free free distribution for music videos. It's like I don't understand why you need that, and then like I said again, the conditions that come with it, it ain't worth it. Golden Nick says, I feel like the YouTube music video ads are the least effective in my opinion. I mean, YouTube is a complicated thing because of, yeah, I got stuff that I wrote on the Pay Us No Mind blog about it. But yeah, it's a complicated thing because there's a whole bunch of moving parts to YouTube ads, man. And just the way that the YouTube platform works. Vim, what up? He says, if I need to release music, what's the best distribution platform I should use? Depends on what you're looking for, but generally TuneCore. Word. Ezekiel TV, if you need my help, reach out, brother. You know, you can set up a consultation to book a time for us to chat and kind of like break everything down, whatever it is you're going through, talk about a bunch of different stuff, you know. But that's the best way, fam. Andrew Films, what up, brother? Andrew Film says, I want to go for Lander, but I want TuneCore to take my publishing. Will that be possible? Yeah, TuneCore publishing is a separate thing, but it does make it easier because that's the whole point of using TuneCore publishing, to make it easier when you register a song, when you upload a song for distribution through TuneCore, and it automatically gets, you know, rolled into the publishing thing. If you're doing it separate, where you need somebody to do publishing administration and you're going to use a digital distributor separately, then probably SongTrust will be better for publishing purposes. Big Bank Reed says, have you ran any TikTok ads? Nah, I need a burner phone for TikTok because I'm not putting a TikTok on any phone that I actually use. So I got to I'm waiting to get like another phone, like an Android phone or something like that. That's just like, I could put anything on there because I don't have no sensitive information on it. But yeah, TikTok, I don't trust it. So I don't put it on anything. So I never got to the point where like, I don't even use it, you know, let alone advertise on it. And I worked with a company once where they wanted to advertise on TikTok, and we went to set it up, but they were asking for like your social security number or, you know, stuff like that. So you had to be like a registered business to put your EIN number in there and things of that nature. So it's just like they another one that asks for a lot of sensitive information in order for you to do certain things on their app. And I'm just not giving it up. I'm not playing those types of games. Andrew Film says, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I mean, best thing, brother, and I tell anybody that wants to pick my brain about anything, is to book a consultation. Because it's like the reality of the situation is one question seems like one question, but it's not. You know, like artists always hit me up on Instagram and they say, hey, man, I only got one question to ask you. One question. Can you just answer this one question? It's only going to take you 10 minutes. And then they ask me and they say, okay, well, which digital distributor should I use? Right? Now I say, hey, man, it's based on a number of things. It's based on how often you release music, whether you want to keep 100%, or are you okay with sacrificing a percentage? You know, what kind of position you in, what you got going on, all of these different things. And they say, oh, just tell me which one would you use? And I say, okay, TuneCore. And they say, why? You know, second question, what about TuneCore and what's this about TuneCore? And then they want to ask all these other questions about the service and what do I think about this other distributor that they want to use that they're considering instead of TuneCore. And it's like, then it turns into a whole thing. And it's a consultation, right? So it's like the best is just to book it, set it up, and that way you can ask whatever you want to ask, publishing questions, digital distribution questions, marketing questions, because all of those things are probably things you got questions about as well. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This time has come to an end. Woo! Oh, oh man. I feel like I've been sitting in the sauna. But I'm out of here, good people. Now, y'all can check me on Instagram because I'm starting to post a lot more content there, news updates and stuff like that, man. So it's a lot of media getting posted to Instagram. So y'all should check me out there. You know, if you're interested in sponsoring some Pay Us No Mind content, these YouTube videos, the media being posted to Instagram and the posts and the stories, there's a link to that in the description box. right? There's programs that I have set up, and there's links to that as well. We got discounts to digital distributors. We got a 20% discount for TuneCore. We got a 50% discount for CD Baby. We got, I think, a 7% discount for DistroKid. We got a 10% discount for Playlist Push, not a digital distributor, playlist platform. 10% discount for them too. So you can check all that good stuff out. All right, y'all. Now I'm gonna get on up out of here. Right. As always, y'all can hit me up at PayUsNoMind on Instagram, at PayUsNoMind on Twitter, PayUsNoMind@gmail.com. This is Gift signing off. Pay us no mind. Peace, good people. One.